But we have got to prepare ourselves now to be ready, because if you're ready now, the problems go away. They think you're sheep. I mean, I asked you on a podcast with you the last time, where's the line? Mm-hmm. What line do you have as an individual that you say, I won't cross? Well, I won't go there. I mean, if I said to you last summer, yeah, they're going to tell us that we can't have Thanksgiving with our family, that we have to wear a mask all the time, and the president's going to make that mandate, and they're going to shut down the economy, you and I and everybody else would have said, never, never.
It's interesting. I often think now that I've been taking some of these positions that aren't thought of as popular or okayed by mainstream or whatever, that the only thing to fear is fear itself. And I've been thinking about that a lot lately, that the more that I say the things that I believe to be true that happen to be against the mainstream things, the more I get over that. Because if you can get over the fear, then if it's true that we're on a list and they're coming for us,
then we're on a list.
Then we're on a list. And by the way, pretty much everyone's on the list. And that's why there's that famous thing, they came for the Jews first. It's like, we're all part of this thing. But it's a very strange time that you can show me some of these things, founding documents from the United States, documents about saving Jews during World War II, and it feels like something that's kind of now.
Only if people don't find their courage.
Yeah.
I truly believe, and this is why I think you're so powerful, courage is contagious. It is. Not everybody's a leader. Not everybody's willing to step out into danger. Not everybody's willing to lose all their friends or to whatever. But when they see someone risk everything and they see them on a list, if you can get them early enough, they'll step out. But the longer you wait, the worse it gets. That's Bonhoeffer was a pacifist, was involved in von Stauffenberg's coup. How? He's a pacifist. He said there's nothing else we can do at this point because it's too late. The people's hearts had turned to stone, and you couldn't turn them. We have to find a way to make sure that our hearts and the hearts of everybody we know stay soft and see people as people, not enemies.
When I was on tour with Jordan, one of the things that he would bring up often, because he would talk about the parallels to Nazism, to some of the authoritarian movements of the day, and he would say to everyone in the crowd, he'd say, there's 3,000 of you sitting out here right now, and I guarantee you that every single one of you would think that you wouldn't be a Nazi if this was 1936 Germany, and that proves probably that you would be. And I always thought that was pretty powerful. That we all think we would do the unpopular thing. We all think we would do the risky thing. We all judge everybody by our standards of today.
I'm not sure I'd stand in the end. I mean, a friend of mine, Marcus Luttrell, I said to him, how do you stand torture and not break? And he said, Glenn, everyone breaks. Everyone breaks. He said, but the ones who break the fastest and the loudest are the ones who will say, I'll stand. I'll stand. Because they haven't thought about it. It's why I wanted to bring my kids to Auschwitz. I need you to feel it so you can think about it and really look at this as a possibility. And once you do that and you realize, by the grace of God, I'll stand, then you're ready. But we have got to prepare ourselves now to be ready, because if you're ready now, the problems go away. They think you're sheep. I mean, I asked you on a podcast with you the last time, where's the line? What line do you have as an individual that you say, I won't cross? Well, I won't go there. I mean, if I said to you last summer, yeah, they're going to tell us that we can't have Thanksgiving with our family, that we have to wear a mask all the time, and the president's going to make that mandate, and they're going to shut down the economy, you and I and everybody else would have said never, never.
I would have said, maybe they're right about that Beck guy.
Yeah, right? You would have.
Yeah.
You would have. It's
Yeah.
insane to think, look where we are. And now all of a sudden, that's normal. It's the new normal.
Yeah. They get you with that phrase, the new normal, because there's an implicit, accept it. It's implicitly, it's here, so you better accept it.
So the thing about war is just about changing leadership, borders, and financial systems. That's what war is really about for the people up at the top. And it's usually so horrible that society, even great ones, never go back to the way they were, because you're so willing to accept peace. Mm-hmm. I just want to go back to normal, that you never reset back to normal. And you'll accept almost anything. Here we are. Look at what we're willing to accept at this point. And I know I did. When they started talking about the new normal, I was like, no, I don't want a new normal. I want normal.
Yeah, regular normal will be just fine.
Right.
Yeah.
How many people now would just be happy if we had, okay, this is a new normal, and they're going to start, letting things back up, but it's never going to get the way it was. Lots would accept that.
Is that why you care so much about history and these things? Because you feel like it kind of grounds you to do the current events that you got to do? You got to wake up every day. You do how many hours a day of talk? At least.
5.
At least.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a
5.
lot. That's a lot of
Yeah.
airtime. I know how much I talk, and it ain't 5 hours a day.
Yeah.
But is that why you care so much about history? Because otherwise you're just sort of spinning in the morass of the day.
I know clearly what I'm fighting for. I know clearly what I'm fighting against. And my son was 8, maybe, and he started taking Taekwondo, and he had to go in to get his first belt. And I don't know why, but he didn't expect there to be a crowd there. And when he was really young, crowds scared him because of the stuff that has happened to me that he witnessed as a little kid. Mm-hmm. Crowds scared him. And he didn't want to be around crowds, and he didn't want to be noticed, and so we're going, and he's like, no, there's a crowd. No, there's a crowd. And I'm like, Rafe, it's going to be fine. It's fine. It's just the parents. They're just like us. We're just watching your friends. No. And he really freaked out. So I had to take him home while his sister got her belt. And I'm driving home, and I'm like, what do I say to him? And quite frankly, I was a little pissed, but I didn't want to be pissed at him because he wasn't misbehaving. And we drove home, and I held his hand the whole time, but we didn't really talk because I'm thinking, what do I say? Pulled into the house, got into the house, and I knew exactly what I needed to do. And I said, come into my library. Come on, sit down in the library. And at that time, my whole walls were covered with artifacts and men determined to be free, and Raoul Wallenberg, and the picture of the woman that he saved, and a picture of him, all of the heroes, Rosa Parks, everybody, mm-hmm. Winston Churchill. And we sat there on the couch. I said, just want you to look at the walls. And he did, and I said, why do you think I have them up here? And he said, because they're all heroes, and they weren't afraid, and they do the thing. And I said, no. Because I know each and every one of them was terrified mm-hmm. of doing what they knew they had to do. They were terrified, but they did it. That's the lesson of history. They're just like you. Abraham Lincoln was not a big, tall statue. He knew he was going to die. He knew it. He did it anyway. He didn't want to. Nobody wants to do. You think Gandhi? Well, Gandhi may have, because he was doing the hunger strike, but that was against his own really. People, his own followers. Yeah. He was like, you want to be full of anger and rage? I'm not with you. And until my followers stop acting that way, I'll starve myself to death. I mean, these people were amazing, but all of them had a change of heart and didn't want to do it. Bonhoeffer he was here in America. He escaped Germany. And he he came here to America, he was in New York, and he was so guilt-ridden that he left his people in this dark hour that he went back. I think it was on one of the last boats that went back and you could get back into Germany. He went back and he said to all of his pupils, okay, let's say you're an atheist. Let's say you're an atheist. So you really believe that, but you don't have any other choice than to take somebody's life. They didn't realize at the time, the example, he was trying to get them to convince him that there's no way you could do that, or to convince him that, yes, I can do that. He's involved with von Stauffenberg. He's taken to a concentration camp. In the end, he's in a cell with a guy who took the Jews up into airplanes until their heads popped. He took people and covered them in ice and freezing in the cold water and all of that stuff. In every hospital in the world, that book from the Nazis, all of those stats are in every hospital in the world. And that's why he was sent to a concentration camp, because Hitler, he released all this information, and Hitler said, what the hell are you doing? And he said, you know how many lives will be saved by this information? He said, we're saving German lives, not everybody's life. He, a prostitute double agent, and Dietrich Bonhoeffer were in the same cell. They were all executed 4 days before Hitler died. The guy at the gallows remembers Bonhoeffer because he thanked him. He walked up the stairs, he got there, and the executioner kind of helped him up, and then put the noose around his neck. And Bonhoeffer looked at him and said, thank you for your kindness.
Good God.
Gallows. That's the person I want to be. But that's not a person you just become. That's a person you work hard to become.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about politics instead of nonstop yelling, check out our politics playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, watch our full episode playlist, all right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.